Well, hello, and welcome, my Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your soulmate reading for February 2020, or timeless, whenever you're supposed to see it. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, president of Join the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and very, very honored to be doing this work for you today. If you are new to my channel, please do like and subscribe. I'm getting closer and closer every moment to that 1,000 subscriber mark, which is my goal, and then we'll see what the next one is. But I know I'm going to be able to do super live chat, which will be a lot of fun. Cool. So please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that cool stuff. Help me get my numbers up. Thank you so very. But let's get down to this reading in particular, my Scorps. I have so many Scorpio friends throughout the world. Always a pleasure to read for you all. But these are collective readings, right? That's why I do Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. I try and keep them fun and entertaining as well as informative so that you can check your other signs. Granted, these run a little long, but they are soulmate contracts. So please take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and check your other signs. Like, even though I am a Virgo, I really get more out of the Pisces reads because I'm a Pisces moon. Just how it rolls. Cool. My kitty cats are getting ready for dinner in about an hour, so there might be some feline antics I may need to manage as they start to corral around me one at a time. So I may have to pause here and there, like right now it's about to happen. Be right back. Thank you so much. They start to gather around the food area, and it's not time yet, and then they start to fight with each other. As soon as I see the pause go up, I'm like, oh, so I had to break it up. Boys, what are you going to do? Motherhood never ends. This is a soulmate contract. Let's get back to business. The soulmate contract reading, we're looking at the divine masculine and divine feminine in a pre-incarnational agreement to help each other heal. Yes. Soulmate contracts, you have many of them. They can take any form. My mother and I are soulmates. We help each other heal, have been since the day I was born, helping each other heal. But this is particularly a sexual, intimate, romantic, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise soulmate contract, because that's the one everybody wants to know about. Lord knows I do. Lady knows I do too. Cool. So like I said, we're going to be looking at the two different parties, divine feminine, divine masculine. Has nothing to do with physical, gender, Y chromosome, or otherwise. We're talking about energetic dynamic. I say it over and over. I consider myself primarily divine feminine, even though I'm in a male body, right? I'm a gay male, 51 years old, professional intuitive, Pisces moon. Do the math. I'm at least 51% divine feminine. My God, what an underestimation that is. You get me? So you're going to have to figure out which one is you. And that's why the more you can focus on your breath, be conscious and aware of your breath, the more in the present moment we will be throughout this reading, myself included. So you will be able to feel what hits you intuitively in terms of the information as we go along. And keep in mind, in some soulmate contracts, you're so alike in some ways that different than Twin Flame. Twin Flame is a totally different contract. But that you might find information relevant on both sides to where you are. Cool, because you're here to help each other heal, so of course you would have some experience in what they are going through in one way, shape, or form. Sabby, I'm watching you. You be good to your brothers. He's the alpha. You know, he likes to show his dominance. Don't we all, Scorpios? Okay, so let's get down to business. We're going to start with getting one card each from the Caroline Myss archetype cards. All the decks I read are in the description box below, all the way at the bottom, so you have to go through all the other cool links I have there, so at least you can see them, but go click on them. They're cool. All right, so let's do this. Nice deep breath. We're going to call upon my collective pantheons to get us started. I'll call out the other decks as we go. Oh my God, it's just Purina 1, guys. It's not like, you know, steak. Boys. Here we go. Ground and center, my Scorpios. Nice deep breath. my collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please. 2 cards, one for the divine feminine, one for the divine masculine. In this Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, satisfying, sexual, intimate, romantic, soulmate contract for February 2020, or timeless whenever they come across it. One for the divine feminine, please, and one for the divine masculine, please. Excellent. We are underway. Thank you for the nice deep breath. It helped. I could feel it. Well, we're looking at the divine feminine with the mediator archetype and the divine masculine with the beggar archetype. This time around, they've all been, I mean, archetypes are always intense, usually the shadow and the light. There's no such thing as the meh archetype. But I have to say, this round of Soulmate, it's been a little weird, but in an interesting way, not necessarily in a bad way. So keep in mind, all archetypes are neutral. I'm going to read the shadow attribute at the bottom of the card, then the light attribute, keeping in mind that this shadow attribute is what is being healed or what you will help each other heal in the soulmate contract, even if they haven't met yet. Even if you haven't met in the 3D, there's all sorts of this stuff going on in the higher dimensions. Cool, cool. So let's have a look-see-dooksy at the divine feminine. The shadow attribute of the mediator. I think, what's a mediator? If you've ever been in mediation, you know. Shadow attribute, negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. So there's something there about negotiation. That's what mediators do, right? They try and negotiate to find a place where both parties, I was raised by a lawyer, I'm familiar with the term, right? To try and make things happen without necessarily having to go to court. At least in the legal sense. The light attribute, gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life. Respect for both sides of an argument. So for the divine feminine, that's lovely. That's the powers that she is bringing to this. Is her thumb on the scale somewhere personally or professionally? We'll see. Is she taking sides without letting on? We'll see. Because here we've got the beggar archetype. Now, I think really once you hear what it's about, you'll get that the shadow, yeah, is terrifying. Nobody wants to be a beggar. But if we only keep it in terms of money, right, or like being a homeless person begging for money or whatever your case may be, people have begged for mercy. People have begged for attention, right? So get that word begging has another context to it than just financial. The shadow attribute, dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. See, it's the exclusion of effort part. And yes, very easy to put that in terms of work and, you know, physical stuff and, you know, the third dimensional world of money and finances, that they're unable to support themselves, dependence on others. But what if it is mental, emotional, spiritual as well? That's why you got to stretch these sometimes so that they fit. The light attribute, which I think is amazing, as scary and terrifying as the shadow is as bright and beautiful as the light is. That's why archetypes are neutral. In other words, it's not horrible shadow and meh kind of light, or vice versa, right? The light attribute confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, so it's essentially about empowering oneself, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem, which are major, major life lessons for any soul incarnate in this time. Yeah, maybe not 10,000 years ago, but now, certainly, but there have always been beggars on planet Earth. That's the other thing. So there must be an incarnational advantage, lesson, something to be learned there, even if it's not always begging with a cup for money, right? So interesting how a mediator would want to see both sides of the point of view. And that's why I don't get that this is a literal beggar. I think that there's been some dependency issues there, and you bring that inability. We could be dealing with a codependent pattern here, but one that has to do with begging, starvation, usually from being neglected, not abused. But that's going to change from person to person. What we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 tarot decks and get 5 cards in clarity for each of those, which will help you tune yourself a little bit more to who is who in this contract. We're going to be using the Daughters of the Moon Tarot for the element spread, fire, earth, air, water, spirit for the divine feminine, the Mythic Tarot for the divine masculine, same spread. If you've been watching me for a while, you might be familiar with this one. It is one of my favorites for a quick fingerprint look at a particular energy through the 5 magical elements, shall we? Take a deep breath. Still point. My goddesses, please. Top 5 cards, element spread for this divine feminine mediator archetype in this Scorpio collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign soulmate contract for February 2020 or timeless. Please, fire. What is her desire? What is it that she wants? Earth, what does she have to get her what she wants? The fuel that feeds the fire. Air, what is she thinking? Water, what is she feeling? Spirit, what is the point of view of the soul in this soulmate contract for this divine feminine? My goddesses, please. Thank you. Clean cut, please. Maiden. Oh, unclean cut, but I get it. We'll put it Maiden, Mother, Crone. I don't know if you saw that, but the one on the bottom jumped down, so I asked for clean cut, because if it actually makes it to the bottom, hits becoming the top, then that becomes the top card. It's just a rule I have. You have to know your rules ahead of time when you do this stuff, so that you know, because they understand then what your rule is, to make sure the right card hits where it's supposed to. Let's have a look-see-dooksy. Divine Feminine Mediator, what do you want? The Scorpio card. So this is the Scorpio read. So again, if you are the Divine Feminine Scorpio, then this is you really wanting to be more authentic, something more about the 8th house, money, sex, power, other people's resources. Now, other people's resources in terms of the Beggar takes on a whole other different meaning, right? Money, sex, power. Those are the things people usually beg for, right? More, more, more in the midnight hour. Very Scorpio. Ooh, had a Billy Idol flash. He was so cute. Still is. So to get for the mediator, to have that card and what she wants, it's either about her own authenticity, her own power, her own ability to exchange other people's resources, money, sex, power, that 8th house, even the mystical, the occult, the hidden. But if it's the divine masculine as the Scorpio in this, then she wants him. I mean, it really is that clear, and wants him, even though there's that Beggar vibe there, right? May not be aware of it, but there's definitely a strong chemical, sexual, soulmate attraction here, that this is on a level of soul. It's not just about the money, sex, and the power. Just saying. Let's see, what does she have to get her that desire? That sounds a little weird to say it that way, but you know what I mean. The opposite sign of Scorpio, Taurus. Now look, if we go very literal with these and see them as people, it doesn't make as much sense as, yes, if this is her, the Scorpio, then what she wants is to focus not necessarily on a Taurus energy, but she has her lifelong values. 2nd house, life values. Prosperity, abundance, the house you live in, long-term durable goods, the car you drive, things that you will value for a longer period of time. Fertile earth, fixed water, fixed earth. Like for me, I say it all the time, like honesty is such a lifelong value of mine, to be honest with myself. That's why I hate being deceived, or when I find out I deceived myself without knowing it. Drives me crazy, because I've been lied to in this life. We all have been, but mine started at a very early age, and I ain't just talking Easter Bunny, right? I'm talking about just out and out lies, that as I grew up I realized how badly I was lied to, so it made me really take to the path of honor in terms of honesty. So that is something that's really wicked important to me. And I will walk away from a relationship when the dishonesty is toxic. Bang. Different from surprise party dishonesty, right? So that's a lifelong value. So if she can really tune, I'm saying she, it's the divine feminine, can be a guy certainly, can really get this Scorpio energy, either her own authenticity or to get with this Scorpio divine masculine Beggar. Again, it's going to change, and it's going to be that across the board one way or the other. Then really the way through is through the opposite sign, interestingly enough, the counterbalance, fixed earth, abundance, but lifelong values, bedrock, fertile, prosperous values. Cool, cool. What's she thinking with all of this? Well, compassion. I love that this card has come up so much. The Six of Cups. So what's on her mind is compassion. And what does the Beggar inspire? Awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. So an understanding there. A giving of compassion to self as well as to the other. That's the Six of Cups, like the ebb and flow of the ocean there. But it's essentially that everybody is doing the best that they can, even if it seems there is a dependence upon others without any action of their own, right? To the exclusion of effort. There is an understanding there in some way. Like, I understand that, I've been there. It can come from exhaustion. It can come from all sorts of things. In other words, there's a real heart motion here for the mediator naturally to see both sides of it, right? Brilliant. I mean, really off to a really, really sweet start here in terms of valuing compassion in her life values for this Scorpio thing. There is definitely money involved here. I'm just not sure exactly how. And what's in her emotion is Three of Cups. So she's got a water card both in her air and in her water. So this could very easily be a water sign in the sense that already feeling emotionally bonded. My sense is that these two do know each other, at least as friends, at least as some sort of acquaintance. And there is some sort of chemistry there. There is definitely attraction. Remember, this is a soul contract, intimate, romantic, sexual soulmate. So keep that in mind. There's already an energetic connection there that probably comes from other lives as well. Regardless of what circumstances, the roles they play in this life, the souls know each other. Yeah. What is the point of view of the soul then? Five of Pentacles, rapid change, earthquake. So she's shook. Her soul is shook. They probably just met. That's my sense of it. Probably just met. Probably haven't known each other for a really, really, really long time, but already has sparked enough of that scorpionic sexual interest, regardless of which one is the Scorpio here. Some very strong values will help get you there. Slow and steady wins the race. Be very, very stable. Be very, very clear about your boundaries and your finances, because the mind is thinking so compassionately, and the emotions, there's definitely an emotional heart bond here, but that the soul is shook. That an earthquake is very, very quick, comes on very, very suddenly. A 10-second earthquake is kind of a big deal, depending on where it is on the Richter scale, but it changes everything. Like, nothing goes untouched, even in such a brief amount of time. So my sense is that if these two haven't met yet, I think they're gonna, and she gonna be shook. Let's look what's going on with him, shall we? Mythic Tarot, nice deep breath, voice of the gods. Still point. My gods, please. Top 5 cards, element spread for this Scorpio collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in this soulmate contract for February 2020. This divine masculine beggar, please. What's going on? His element of fire, earth, air, water, and spirit. Top 5 cards for him, please. Element spread for this divine masculine. Thank you, Sun, Father, Sage. There we go. What's he want? Our beggar wants probably to get over the 5 of Cups. Okay, all right. No, just like, oh, I'm going to take that back. That was the first thing off the top of my head, probably true, because who wants to deal with the 5 of Cups unless that 5 of Cups, like, they've both been shook, right? The shookness, yeah, there's only 1 cup standing out of the 5, the other 4 have been spilled. But what if that emotional upset is this soul attraction, and therefore wants to be shook, wants to feel that emotional change, particularly if there is an emotional starvation in a divine masculine, deep down, may not want to call it that, but really doesn't mind having his world shaken emotionally to shake him out of something. I get how somebody could want that. I have never interpreted that card that way, but that's an interesting way. That is actually the vibe on that. Let's keep going. Other cards should clarify, right? What's the element of earth that helps him get that fire? The Judgment card, reconciliation. These two might know each other. I just get it. This is Hermes' psychopomp going down into the underworld, right? The guide of souls, the psychopomp, with the caduceus and everything. Like, he's got the River Styx speed pass, right? He didn't have to pay no toll. This is really a feeling here that what he has here is sort of a revelation, right? Needs to have, or has this revelation about himself. Something that had been hidden has been revealed, right? Something learned, a bigger picture having been seen, and therefore something that was dead has been revived, sort of like a judgment day kind of deal, or at least some final judgment has been made here for himself personally, some personal revelation that feels so clear, that is now looking at wanting to maybe go back, and it's very possible these two have danced before, but they weren't ready for each other. But I feel like they've both been shook. No question about that. There's definitely her perhaps more physiologically shook, like, oh my God, he's back. But in a good way. Remember, the Scorpio card feels very much that this is the Scorpio, wants him, but he's sort of equally shook, or is at least wanting to feel that emotional movement change again, particularly if he's been arid, dry, static emotionally. Can ultimately be static emotionally, but you know what I'm saying. What's his element of air? What's he thinking? Ace of Pentacles, he's thinking of, this is a good opportunity. This is a new beginning. So whether they do know each other or not, there is a new beginning here, which certainly speaks of the card of Judgment if this is a reconciliation. Keep in mind, we are in Mercury retrograde, at least when I'm reading this now. So if this is Mercury retrograde, ex-lover, flash flood, great fun. Yeah, I've only had it happen twice so far, and it's only been a couple of days. Funny how they just appear out of nowhere. Keeping that in mind, if that's what's on his mind, she's got on her mind this Six of Cups compassion. He's seeing a new opportunity here. This is something that could really work out. I'm just wondering how much of a dependence is going on here if he's still in that shadow. And hopefully that's what some of this internal judgment, this revelation, that probably very much upset him to see. Maybe he's had to deal with and wants to deal with some of his past emotional baggage. You know, like grief in particular comes from loss of love, right? But really it's love that doesn't know how to express itself because the object of love's affection is gone through death, divorce, or distance, right? So tricky there. What's going on for him emotionally then? Yeah, interesting. Athena, the Athena card, justice. Divine justice, balance. So perhaps there is a thing of wanting to make things right here to balance the scales. That's what's going on emotionally. Major Arcana card might be, in a place not just of reconciliation, but one of redemption and balancing the scales. These are two rather major, there's no such thing as a minor Major Arcana card, but these are, later on in the cycle. It's a pretty heavy duty thing here. So to have the Justice card in the emotional position means that there is some serious balancing going on here, but it's also perhaps making right that which was done wrong before emotionally. It can be very, very healing and very, very wise too. That's why, Athena in this card, goddess of wisdom. Yes, we think of her as a goddess of combat, but one of strategy. This might be part of a rehabilitation of the emotional nature, right? Because it does feel like there's some emotional change, shookness going on there. So what's the point of view of the soul? That right now got the narcissist card, right? It is Narcissus, but can indicate a narcissist. But as the Page of Cups, it is immature. It's immature energy, but it can also be very innocent, self-reflection, self-love, like the beginning of learning that. And I have to say with the other cards here, I'm not getting that this beggar is a narcissist, because usually they're not. Even the most covert narcissists won't allow themselves to be seen as beggars, usually, unless they're using that as a strategy. I'm not getting this here. I'm getting that the soul here is like wanting this new beginning, but an innocent beginning. That this divine feminine may want, if this is the Scorpio, may want this Scorpio beggar in that way because of the self-esteem, because maybe in the past it was scary. Maybe in the past it was toxic. It was too much of a dependency. And again, I'm not feeling this is about finances. In fact, the only coin card here is the Ace of Pentacles. It's the only thing really indicating money here. And that's in the mind in terms of a new beginning, a fresh potential, like a healthy acorn that could grow into an oak tree, right? But that Page of Cups in the soul position might very well be the innocence of the soul, the innocence of the heart, saying, please, can we try this again? I've learned so much. I've gone through the judgment. I've really brought myself into emotional balance, emotional justice. Please let me make amends. This could be a very lovely thing. And again, considering a mediator, she's probably going to say, okay, well, let's do this. So already that idea of balance and fairness is in both spreads. So you probably have a better idea who you are right now. These do feel like very different people, but we're going to use the Healing with the Angels Oracle by Doreen Virtue to now add to the healing aspect, right? Healing with the angels, because they're going to help each other heal. Let's see what angels walk with them in this relationship, whether they know each other, have met each other, or not. My sense is that this is second, maybe third time around, but not a twin flame, a soulmate. Sometimes soulmates do that. They have to part ways to grow and come back together stronger. It does happen. So nice deep breath, please. Let's call upon the angels. Oh, that felt good. One more. Oh. My angels, please, 2 cards, one for the Divine Feminine Mediator and one for the Divine Masculine Beggar in this Scorpio Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign soulmate contract for February 2020 or timeless, please. The Divine Feminine gets that one. The Divine Masculine, oh, that one almost slipped out. Ooh, the Divine Masculine, please send it around if that's the one. Don't know if it is, but there's the one for the Divine Masculine. So who are the angels walking with them in this contract? The angels of healing. She has got the angel of trust, I bet. I bet you. I feel like this beggar might have been either clingy or demanding or really, really manipulative in the past and has some really horrible feelings about it that he wants to clear up, right? Reconcile. That judgment card, always a card of reconciliation, even if it's just within. So, you know, she's trusting. She's got the angel of trust. Now, sweetheart, if you're the one watching this, trust yourself. Trust in your life values. Have your stability there. Know what your boundaries are. Know what you will stand for and what you will not stand for. Because if you're really shook, you want to make sure that you've grounded yourself again. It's a lot of fixed energy going on there. I think you're going to be okay. But with that emotional bond and that compassion, you're trusting. Just be wise, right? What's the healing angel he's got? The miracle. I'm telling you, I feel like this guy has turned a corner in his life. The technical term of a miracle, the definition, is something that defies physical law, right? Like the law of gravity, like water into wine, that kind of stuff, levitation, we call that stuff miracles. Nowadays that has changed a bit, where someone who was, you know, had an illness and then all of a sudden they don't, a miracle, it's a miracle, right? Through prayer or whatever. Again, it sort of defies law. But this feels more along the lines of divine intervention kind of miracle here, that has really facilitated great healing within him. So he's bringing miraculous healing to the table here for him and for her as well. It's really lovely. But we ain't done. We've got the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, the Shadow deck, right? Half of it, the Shadow suit, the other, the Luck, the Healing, and the Grace deck. We're going to get 2 shadow cards, 2 problem cards for each of them. What is the problem that they're dealing with, that they're bringing to the soulmate contract to help each other heal. Nice deep breath. Still point. My Ascended Masters, please. One card for the Divine Feminine and one card for the Divine Masculine, please. What is the problem that each of them bring to help heal? Because it's not a problem, it's just destiny waiting to be revealed and healed in this contract. Please, for the Divine Feminine and one for the Divine Masculine. All right? And while we're here, let's do the same with the luck, the healing, and the grace suits. Please, my masters, what is the piece of luck, healing, or grace that the Divine Feminine is bringing to this contract? We'll take that one. And same for the Divine Masculine. What piece of luck, healing, or grace is he bringing to the contract? What's the problem, Divine Feminine? Doubt. Perfect compliment to the angel of trust, right? So that she is bringing doubt to this. So she's trying to find her way through. So the mediation is within herself as well, right? It says right in there, respect for both sides of the argument, gift for negotiating, fairness in strategy in personal and professional life. But this is like, yeah, but I have my doubts. So that's good. She's even having to mediate. That's why I said be very, very careful. She's got those doubts too. Definitely has been here before. Well, and for some of you, if you haven't met before, then you have been in this situation before, perhaps with a twin flame, and now you're doing it in a way that can heal. Wow, I didn't even think that that happened that way, but that does make a lot of sense. In other words, let's say just out of the blue, you're dealing with an addict twin flame situation over and over and over. You end that, you walk away, and you deal with either a recovering addict or one about to, and then you actually help each other heal, and there's healing, right? So, I mean, addict, perhaps that's a bit extreme, but we are looking at Scorpio here. So what's the problem this Divine Masculine Beggar brings? Betrayal. Again, I get the feeling they know each other, that he has been betrayed, therefore has betrayed. Betrayed himself, probably betrayed this Divine Feminine because he's got doubt. Doubt and betrayal. These two definitely feel like they have a track record, but if they have never met, which is completely possible, or haven't met yet, maybe have just met, then there's definitely a pattern that both of them have been through in a similar situation before with different people. All right. So what's the healing, the grace, the luck that she brings? The luck card of true love. This is probably true love. This is probably a true love contract as well. True love contract takes soulmate to a whole different level. It's about the really true embodiment of divine love. It's an amazing experience, but really, really hard. The course of true love never did run smooth, my darling. If you're the Divine Feminine watching this, sweetheart, this is about letting the divine love do it through you, right? Participating with the divine plan here. But that doesn't mean you don't have boundaries. That doesn't mean you allow yourself to be neglected, abused, or codependent upon. Ask yourself, what would love do and what's healthy? Both of those. Keep that in balance in terms of your mediation. What's he bringing? He's bringing the grace of joy, right? So she's bringing a luck card. He's bringing a grace card. She's bringing true love. He's bringing joy. So I do feel like with that miracle card there, this dude has changed. And again, I'm saying dude, Divine Masculine. Could be female, absolutely. But really wants to make amends for whatever the emotional upset was, because is still upset about it himself, right? Has to be the resolution of that Five of Cups. To bring it into what? The Six of Cups. She's got the compassion for, but I don't blame her for having doubts. And of course, if he's brought betrayal, if he's been betrayed, and as well, I don't think anybody knows how to betray unless they've been betrayed, right? It's such a mirror neuron kind of thing, right? It's like we learn it. It's learned behavior. It's not necessarily it's certainly not the nature of the soul, but certainly the nature of the ego, maybe the personality, depending on what's gone on there. So he brings the grace of joy. It feels like there's such lightness to this beggar that You know, because why? He awakened the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. He knows his worth as a divine being on some level to bring that kind of joy. Boys, come on. Motherhood never ends. It's okay, we got 3 cards left. Let's ask the higher selves of all involved through the Whispers of Love Oracle. The higher selves are going to give you a whisper of love. One for the divine feminine, one for the divine masculine. Nice deep breath, please. This is your higher self pulling the cards. Here we go. Still point. Oh, I could live there. Please, higher selves of all involved, 5th dimensional and above, please. 2 cards in total. One for the divine feminine, one for the divine masculine. In this Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Soulmate, contract, sexual, intimate, romantic, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, shooting for here. Soulmate contract for February 2020 or timeless for the Scorpio collective divine feminine and the Scorpio collective divine masculine. Those cards wanted to come out. Let's have a look. Union of Hearts. Her higher self is saying union of hearts. There is a connection of love that defies explanation. So even though she has her doubts, it is a true love deal. And it just defies explanation, the connection that these two have. And it is a very strong emotional bond. Might have been friends at one point, but it grew into something else. This is a true love, and it feels very romantic. I can't shake that these two know each other, had some troubles before, and maybe some big troubles, some dramatic troubles, enough to knock some cups over. Because he's got to be supportive. Be supportive of her doubt. Be supportive of what she's going through. Make a genuine effort to show you care. So here is the beggar given the opportunity and the directive from the higher self to give back. Right? Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant energies going on here spiritually. Let's get you your last card down, making 21 in total. From the Ascended Masters, a healing mantra deck card from Matt KAHN. Kitty cats, what's going on? Oh, we've got a Melchior, the Taurus, the stubborn one. I have to keep my eye on him. He starts fights with his older brother. The alpha, he's the baby, go figure. And the Leo, the big chubby one, he's my moose. He's such a snuggle bunny. He don't care. He's a happy Jan Brady. Nice deep breath. Oh, still point. My Ascended Masters, please, please, please. One card in clarity for this Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Soulmate contract for February 2020 or timeless. Please, what is the perfect healing mantra for them? That it doesn't matter who does the mantra, divine masculine or divine feminine. This will help heal both of them and the relationship in a quantum sense, in a true high vibrational, symbiotic, help each other heal. Soulmate contract. All right, let me get the book. I was going to read from it anyway. One side of the card has the mantra, the other side the name of the mantra, so I can look it up in the book. And what the name of the mantra is processing grief. My losses prove how deeply I loved. Processing grief. Did I say that in this reading? I don't remember, but like grief is love that doesn't know how to express itself because the object of love's attention and affection has disappeared either through death, divorce, or distance. I know it. Like, I love very deeply, so when I grieve, very rarely do people see me do it. You can know I'm going through it, doesn't mean you get to witness it. Virgo, probably same with Scorpio. Here's your mantra, processing grief. My losses prove how deeply I loved. When grief is processed, you are able to notice the maturity you gained, even when losing the people, places, and things that once defined your sense of self. As you process grief, you are able to celebrate how deeply you committed to love instead of holding a grudge towards those who left or couldn't love you back. Come here, baby. I see you getting into trouble. Come on. Nope. Sorry. Once grief is fully processed, it can ignite a deeper commitment to love. You know that your alignment with Source is not a matter of what comes or goes. It is determined by how much of yourself you are willing to share. This mantra is ideal for opening back up to love, rebuilding trust, and addressing heartache. Hold on a second. He's starting to knock shit over. Be right back. So sorry. Processing grief. Just one more time. My losses prove how deeply I loved. It's good that we caught that when we did, because we're about to do the overview. Please, nice deep breath. Let's see what else pops. Magic clap. We've got the Divine Feminine with the Mediator archetype in the shadow, negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda. It feels very Scorpio, gotta say, either personally or professionally. The light attribute, gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life. Respect for both sides of the argument. And I really do see that in her element of water with that Six of Cups, but we will get there. Looking at her element of fire, we've got the Scorpio card here representing what it is she wants. Again, either more of her own true self, expressing it herself, her own power. It is Hecate, the goddess of the underworld, queen of the crossroads. So maybe there is a decision here that she wants to make about who she wants to be, or this divine masculine beggar is the Scorpio that she wants wholesale, right? Just wants all of it. What she has to get there is its opposite sign of Taurus, really keeping in mind her life values. And I see that card right next to her doubt. So that might be her life values, what's making her doubt this either a little bit or a lot of it. Though in her mental field, the element of air, there is the Six of Cups. There is at least mental compassion here, understanding that this divine masculine has been through it, as has she, which is what leads me to think they know each other before this time around. Yes, other lives, union of hearts. There is a connection of love that defies explanation here from that Whisper of Love card. This is very possibly a past life redo. Considering that the bond, the Three of Cups card, the bonding card in her emotional field, really speaks to that with the true love card right underneath it. And keeping in mind in the soul position, there's the Five of Pentacles, some kind of physical shookness. Maybe there was a bit of a physical vibratory nervous system thing that went on that was very visceral for her, that changed everything for her in a second. Perhaps a sexual attraction or a sexual experience, or maybe just having this beggar return through this process, because now jumping over to his side, having the beggar archetype in the divine masculine, the shadow attribute, dependence on others to the exclusion of effort, might have been that way, but with what he's got here, it feels like he has moved more into the light attribute. Confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. And here comes the third one. Oh, these boys are driving me up a wall today. So it does feel like he's moved more into that light attribute, considering that what he wants with that Five of Cups is probably to make amends here. Like, even if there was some kind of drug, there is an addict card in the archetype deck. Could have been that, but maybe there was something there that was really emotionally upsetting for her and him, and kind of wants to reconcile with that. And how I see that is because we got the card of Hermes, the psychopomp there, really going into the underworld and bringing things back to life. Reconciliation, recompense, you sort of get the idea. Redemption feels like is part of this too. Seeing a larger picture, making a clear, healthy judgment. And in his mind, the Ace of Pentacles is definitely a new beginning. At least, can we have a clean slate? Can we start from from the beginning. I'm so sorry. And of course, they're in the emotional field. He's got the card of justice. So really balancing that out, probably really wanting to do the right thing to bring justice and balance to this. With that Page of Cups in the Soul position, I was really talking in a way about an emotional innocence here. And though it is the character, the myth of Narcissus here, falling in love with his own reflection, this might be as the result of some self-love and some self-reflection that he's gone through that has now opened up his innocence and really wanting to start clean, keeping in mind that, you know, yes, there is betrayal in his energy field. Maybe he betrayed her and now he's been betrayed, so he sort of brings that to the table and wanting to bring so much more of the grace of joy here. I'm so sorry, I didn't know. I'm so sorry, I want to make this up, and I want to what? Be supportive, says the Whisper of Love card here from the higher self. Make a genuine effort to show you care, bringing it all together rather perfectly with this processing grief mantra. My losses prove how deeply I loved. So probably that Five of Cups there was an indication of that emotional grieving done not just on his side but on hers. There is something very true love about this. There is something very past life about this. There is something very divine love about this, with all of this compassion, these trust issues, these miracles that are going on here. You know, his angel is the angel of miracles. This is a miraculous thing going on here. So if you're the divine feminine, hey, slow and steady wins the race. Taurus, the whole thing. Have your values in place. Have your, you know, this is a requirement and this is a requirement. You can have unconditional love and healthy boundaries too. It doesn't mean you let them run roughshod. You don't give them your PIN number unless you feel the trust. And even then, don't give people your PIN numbers, right? But with that thing, make sure that you are both helping each other when you come together, processing your grief, allowing those tears to fall, even if giving each other space for that. Have the compassion and the understanding to know that this contract is about helping each other heal. That was a knockdown, drag out, Scorpios. But Scorpio, you're a knockdown, drag out sign, right? Very intense, very hidden, but very, very, very powerful as well. And this feels like a very, very powerful soulmate contract. So a lot of powerful healing, but that means a lot of powerful issues to be healed as well. So may the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign be blessed with all that they need in their soulmate contracts for February 2020 or whenever they are watching this, that they may grow, that they may heal with compassion, with miracles, with joy, with true love, being supportive and experiencing this union of hearts as they process their own grief and support each other, of feeling that their losses, yes, have been great, but so has been their love in equal measure. May they heal, may they grow for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so mote it is. And so it is. Wow. Very, very powerful reading. Thank you so much for watching my Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Again, please do like and subscribe. Help me get to my goal. And I'm going to sign off as I always do, wishing you the very best and the very blessed as I say hail. Farewell and blessed, blessed be.